Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So as you guys can see from the title of this video, we have a story time. Before we get into the story time, I'm going to need you to stop what you're doing and like the video. Y'all, this is not the part 2 video of the story time series from the first story time. Y'all, the very last story time that I did that's before this story time, if you guys see in the last video, I said that if we get a good number of likes, then I could tell part 2. Y'all, I'm gonna be real, the likes to views ratio is not matching up. So what I'm gonna need you guys to do is stop what you're doing here and double check and make sure that you liked the last story time so I can give y'all part 2, because I want to make sure that you guys are helping me just as much as I am helping you. I love giving my story times out to y'all, but I also want to make sure that we're supporting each other. Liking the video helps a lot, so please guys, double check and make sure that you like the video. Tell your peers in the comment section to like the video. But y'all, this story time is about Stanley, and I know a lot of y'all been telling me that y'all want me to make a playlist, but y'all, there's so many videos on this channel about Stanley. I will literally have to sit down and go through each and every video and put it in chronological order. And I'm gonna be real with y'all, I did not tell the story with Stanley in chronological order. I didn't tell the story in chronological order. I kind of was all over the place when it came to Stanley. This is the introduction to me getting rid of Stanley, because a lot of you guys always ask me, how did I end up cutting it off with him? How did I end up leaving him alone? So I'm about to give it to you guys. This is definitely going to be like a 1 or 2 or 3 part series, so just buckle up your seatbelts. Let's get into it. Also, like I said for the last story time, give this video a thumbs up so you guys could get the second part sooner than usual. I know I always have to give you guys a refresher and a memory for the new people who just came to my channel. Stanley is this guy that I dated for damn near 6 years. It was toxic. He was kind of like my first love, I would say. Looking back at it, I know that I wasn't like deep in love, but I did have love for the kid, and he just played me, and he knew that I loved him, and he just played me and played me and played me. Throughout the high school, he always had a new girlfriend on me. I would have to find out through different people. They would come up to me and tell me, yeah, Stanley has a new girlfriend, and I wouldn't even know. I'll be with this boy and wouldn't even know. And he did it in college, and I'm about to tell you how. So let's fast forward to college, right? If you guys remember, Stanley got caught having sex on the staircase and ended up getting sent to alternative school. And I was laughing because in my head I was thinking, how did you get caught having sex on the staircase when me and you was just like hanging out with each other the night before? Like, you're a horny dog, you know what I mean? So when I found out that he got caught and they kicked him out the school, quite frankly, I was happy, because I'm like, that's what you get. Like, that's what you get. But if you guys remember, like I told y'all, for the people who watch my videos, y'all know that like a week later, I got kicked out the school for drugs, and I got sent to the same alternative program as Stanley and the girl that he had sex with. Stuff was mad awkward. I wasn't talking to him. He wasn't talking to me. I just felt like he disrespected me. Like I in that moment just felt like, I mean, Stanley always disrespected me, y'all, but I felt like that was the ultimate betrayal. And the fact that everybody knew that me and him messed with each other, it made it worse, because everyone thought that I was the girl that he got caught on the staircase with, because a lot of people did not know that I got caught for drugs. They just did not see me in school one day, and then people just started, rumors were just going around that I was the one that was sleeping with him on the staircase, and it pissed me off because I wasn't. It got to the point where the rumors got to that alternative school, and people who I did not even know was telling me, oh yeah, they said that you was sleeping with him on the stair. I'm like, no baby, no baby, no baby, no baby. I'm in here for smoking that Mary Jane, okay? I'm in here for smoking that Mary Jane. I know that ain't no better, but I'd rather be in this facility for getting caught with drugs rather than having sex on the staircase. Like, that is just not a good look. Don't associate me with that. Like, no, that's not why I'm here, okay? So it just made me even more mad at him, because I'm like, even the fact that it wasn't even me that you were sleeping with on the staircase and people are accusing me. Like, you still dragging my name down even in something that has nothing to do with me. Like, it just made me like dislike him even more, because it's like, dang, like I gotta go around and hear people now say that it was me that was sleeping with you on the staircase, because everybody thinks that everybody just knows me and you date. Like, people don't know that you was dating this other girl, right? So after high school ended, me and him stopped talking. Like, I didn't talk to him, he didn't talk to me. I think Stanley ended up going to like some like football junior college, and I used to see on social media he ended up getting a girlfriend. He started posting her. People were coming up to me and telling me, I don't know what it was, but people always felt the need to keep tabs on Stanley for me. Like, people always was telling me about Stanley's life unprovoked. It's not like I was asking how's Stanley doing. No, like, people would just unprovoked tell me, oh, Stanley got a girlfriend now, and show me a picture of the girl. Like, it was always like that. And like I said before in my other story times, I feel like people were trying to get a rise out of the fact that Stanley was never doing right by me. Like, people found it funny that I liked him so much and he did not like me like that. People actually got a joy out of that, you know? So people would come up to me with bad news about him to make me mad. But at this time, I was over him. So when people were telling me that he had a girlfriend, I didn't care. I didn't care. Like, I wasn't at my university yet. I ended up going to community college. So I'm gonna be real with y'all. It wasn't even just Stanley. When I was in community college, it's a lot of friends that I cut off. It's a lot of friends that I fell out with. It's a lot of guys that I stopped talking to. When I was in community college, it kind of just gave me a moment to have my brain to myself, because a lot of my friends went to college. Like, I don't think any of my friends went to community college. I think damn near all of my friends went to an actual university, and damn near all of the guys that I dated went to an actual university. I was the only one that was in community college around that time. So it gave me time to actually think about stuff. It gave me time to learn how to enjoy being by myself. It gave me time to learn how to love myself. And it also gave me an insight to who was really my friends and who was not really my friends, because a lot of my friends that ended up going to their actual universities, they just started acting mad weird. Like, they stopped calling like that. They stopped texting like that. Like, I barely heard from them. At that time, they already had their college friends and they forgot about me. Like, I don't think any of my friends, I think the only person that still talked to me like that was Chelsea. And even then, me and her didn't really talk like that, you know? And so it just was like very weird. And that's how me and Zebra ended up being so close with each other, because Zebra did not go to university either. She ended up going to community college. And I think the only other person that talked to me every single day was Bozo. Bozo talked to me all the time. So it was really just Bozo and Zebra that was in my life. Everybody else was just distance. Like, I either fell out with them or we just wasn't cool like that no more. When I found out that Stanley had a girlfriend, I didn't care. I didn't care. I'm being quite honest with y'all. I didn't care. When the person told me, I was like, oh, okay. Like, I looked at the girl. She was all right. She was a little dark-skinned girl, thick. I was just like, oh, okay. Like, she just was there. Like, I'm like, all right, cool. Like, next. I don't know what happened, but Stanley ends up transferring to my university that I transferred to, which was PV, at the same time that I transferred. Just like, wow, the devil is working. When I found out that he was going to the same university as me, I was just thinking in my head, the devil is trying to work hard. Because it's so ironic that this boy is going to the same university as me at the same time that I'm going. Mind y'all, I went to community college for 2 years, and then I transferred. The same time I'm transferring to my to university is the same time that Stanley is transferring to university as well. I'm just like, oh my God, like, what's going on? You know what I mean? This time, none of us talk to each other anymore. Like, he didn't reach out to me. I didn't reach out to him. Like, I just felt like we both knew that the staircase situation was like the nail in the coffin, kind of. I feel like if he didn't get caught on the staircase, he probably would have still been reaching out to me even when he was at junior college. But I felt like Stanley just kind of knew not to hit me up because of the staircase situation. But I feel like once we got to college, it made it easier for him to be like, well, I can hit her up. We in college now. Let's fast forward. We fast forward to college, and You know, we're at school, and Stanley lives in, he doesn't live in my apartments, but he lives in apartments that is across from my apartment. So he lives super duper close, y'all. Super duper close. So I know, like, I think the second week he ends up reaching out to me, and he's like, I don't know if he saw me. I didn't see him. And he texted me. He was like, hey, I seen you today on campus. And I didn't see him, but maybe he did see me. You know, like, you know, when you on campus, you can sometimes see somebody, but they might not see you, or vice versa. So I'm like, okay, maybe he did see me. He's like, how have you been? You go here now? You know, I texted him back. And I know some of y'all might be like, oh my God, why would you text him back after all that? Y'all, I was stupid, number one. Number two, it had been 2 years. I didn't really care no more about the situation. Like, I wasn't as mad as I was when I found out what happened on the staircase. It been 2 years, y'all. Like, I didn't really care. I'm like, well, fuck it. Like, you know, I don't know. I didn't really care anymore. So when he texted me, I texted him back, and I was just like, yeah, like, I go here now. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, I told him, I'm like, yeah, I'm a transfer student. He's like, I am too. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm like, what's your major? And he ends up telling me his major. I end up telling him mine, and he's like, oh, okay, like, that's cool. And then he was like, well, I guess I'll see you around. I was like, yeah. And that was that. Like, he didn't say anything. He didn't say come see me. Like, it was just cool. Like, the conversation was very short and sweet, right? So let's fast forward to, like, I'm gonna say like a week, about a week later, right? So about a week goes by, and Stanley ends up following me on Instagram, and I followed him back. I didn't think anything of it. And as soon as I followed him back, he DM'd me. No, I messaged me, and he ends up telling me like, hey, like, I don't know if you're comfortable, but if you're ever free or anything, would you want to link up with me? And y'all, I'm gonna be real. It was giving very much desperation. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I was being desperate. I'm not gonna lie. I had just transferred to this college. I didn't know anybody like that. The people who I knew, remember I told y'all about Bozo, me and Bozo fell out. So I didn't have friends like that. I was just very lonely. I didn't have guys like that. I just was like, I don't know. And I just, now looking back at it, I know for a given fact that Stanley was definitely a familiar spirit, and that's the reason why I was so eager to say yes to go hanging out with him. It's a familiar spirit, and that's honestly not good, you know what I mean? And I went to go hang out with him. I'm just gonna be honest with y'all. And you know what happened? I went to go hang out with him, you feel me? And, you know, got it cracking. And, you know, I'm not thinking anything of it. I'm thinking in my head, like, you know, it's been 2 years. I don't have feelings for him no more. I can do this. I'm trying to psych myself up into believing that I can mess with a guy that I used to be in love with. Now that I am editing this video, I actually feel so bad for my younger self, because I just came to realization that before messing with Stanley again, after the staircase situation that happened in high school, I decided to go on an abstinence journey because of Stanley. So before, like, for 2 years, I did not have sex with anybody. And the reason why I went abstinent was because of Stanley. And then I broke my abstinence for Stanley. Yeah, child. I don't know. I don't know what be wrong with me. I don't know what be going through my head when it come to men. I'm sorry. And not catch no feelings. Why was I doing that? I don't know. I end up going over there, hanging out with him. When I get over there, you know, I'm just looking at his apartment, looking at his room, and he's like, why are you looking at my room? I'm like, nothing, I'm just looking. He had a little decoration, scenery type of vibe going on. So I'm just looking around and stuff like that. And he's just laughing. We're just having a little conversation here and there. He's asking me about, like, why I fell out with Zebra. And I was just, no, first he asked me, he said, did you and Zebra fall out? And I was like, yeah. And I don't even know why he was asking me that, because me and Zebra's fallout was all over the internet. Everybody's seen us fall out on Twitter, on Instagram. Like, we were fighting on every app. Bitch, if there was an app called Bimbo, me and Zebra would have been fighting on there. Like, we were fighting on every single app. So I don't even understand why Stanley was acting dumb. He knows we're not friends. Like, he was like, what happened? Like, why y'all not cool no more? And I'm not gonna sit up here and be like, okay, grab your paper, grab your pen. So on March of 20, like, I'm just not finna do that. Like, I'm not finna tell you why I fell out with my friend. I'm not here for that. I'm not here to discuss why me and my friend fell out. Like, I'm just here to hang out with you. So when he asked me why we fell out, I just was like, you know, girl drama. Like, I just told him straight up, girl drama. Like why do you want to know why me and a girl fell out? Like, that's so messy. And it just, in my head, it just, like, I don't know, it stuck in my head. Like, it just stuck so hard in my head. And I was just like, something's not right about that. Like, something's not right. Why does he want to know why me and Zebra fell out? Like, something just wasn't right? But I just kept it pushing. Let's fast forward to after I end up leaving his place. So I end up leaving his place, and as usual, as soon as I leave his place, he's distant. He's not texting like that. You know, he's just very cool on the hoe. But like I said, at this time, my feelings had kind of faded for him. So I wasn't really tripping off of the fact that he was cool on me. I was just letting him be, because in my head, I'm like, I don't really have feelings for you like that no more. It's really just like a type of, you know, a type of get it in and go about our business type of vibe. But the more I kept messing with him, sorry y'all, the more I kept messing with him, the feelings started coming back slowly. Like, they didn't come back right away, but the feelings definitely started coming back slowly. I started to feel how I felt again about him in high school. And it was scary, because I just remember when I felt like how I felt about Stanley in high school, those times were so dark. I remember always crying. I remember always praying to God about, like, getting these feelings away. And the fact that I kept sleeping with him was making all those feelings that I used to cry and pray to God about was just coming back, like, every single time we were sleeping with each other. And another thing is, every time we were messing around, he was acting mad weird after, like, you know, distancing himself and not texting like that. He was just very, like, you know, very distant. And it's not like I was texting him. I'm gonna be real. Even though the feelings were coming back, y'all, it's not like I was in his phone like, he, ha, ha, ha. Like, no, I wasn't texting him. But, like, still, it still was a little, like, you know what I mean? Like, it still was a little hard to be cool on him. Fast forward to now, me and Zebra are still arguing. If you guys remember, me and my friend are still arguing. And we're still going back and forth and, you know, not seeing eye to eye. We're still arguing on social media. This is like me and Zebra's argument. Me and Zebra's falling out lasted like a good 5 months. I kid you not. Homecoming comes, right? And one of my friends texted me and was like, girl, go look at Zebra's Snapchat. And I'm like, I don't have Zebra on Snapchat. Like, me and her blocked each other on Snapchat. And so my friend was like, all right, hold on. So my friend ends up sending me, like, not a screenshot, but y'all, because y'all know Snapchat notifies if you screenshot. My friend ends up sending me, like, a video. I guess she had, like, either 2 phones or she had an iPad. I don't know. But she ends up sending me a video of Zebra taking a video with Stanley at one of the parties, one of the homecoming parties. And she's literally, like, has the camera all up in his face. And she's like, all right, we got Stanley. Okay, Stanley. Okay, Stanley. And Stanley's in the back, like, you know, like, laughing and doing all, like, yeah, y'all know how boys be flexing in the camera, like, when you record them. Like, you know how boys be. So, like, she's like, all right, Stanley. And he's just behind her, like, you know, going like this and laughing. And she's like, okay, okay. And she's laughing. And I'm just looking. Like, y'all, when I tell y'all I'm just looking, I'm just looking. And I'm thinking to myself, what are they doing hanging out with each other? Like, this girl never recorded Stanley when I was dating him. But now all of a sudden, me and her fell out. Now all of a sudden she's recording him. Why is he entertaining this? Like, that's all I could think in my head. Like, why is he entertaining this? And why is she recording him? You know what I mean? So, next time I seen him, because y'all know I was still going to his place here and there, you know, like little sporadic moments. Like, I would have moments where, like, I'm going to his place, and then I would have moments where I wasn't going to his place at all. So the next time I seen him, I asked him, I said, hey, I have a question for you. And he's like, yeah, what's up? What's your question? And I asked him, I'm like, you ever slept with Zebra? Like, I just wanted to know, because it's like, I know how Zebra give it up. Like, Zebra's the type of friend that sleeps with your man to get revenge on you. If you guys watch the Zebra series, y'all know Zebra don't play. Like, she will sleep with your man in a heartbeat. So I had to know. I'm like, did you sleep with Zebra? Like, and the reason why I asked him is because y'all remember when he asked me if me and Zebra fell out. In my head, and I know sometimes when I speak, people be saying I'm crazy, but y'all, I don't be crazy. I always be right at the end of the day. I'm gonna be real with y'all. The day that Stanley asked me why me and Zebra fell out, it just gave off vibes like he was trying to confirm and make sure that we fell out so he could go sleep with her. Like, I don't know what it was, but that is what it gave. That is what it gave to me, and that shit was weird. So when I seen her taking a video with him, I had to ask him, like, did you sleep with her? When I asked him that, he got so uncomfortable. Like, you could see it on his face. Like, he got so freaking uncomfortable, and he was like, why would you ask me that? Like, it's like he started getting offended at me. I'm looking at him like, why are you getting offended at me? Like, what did I do to you? Like, why are you getting mad at me for asking you that question? That is a very logical question to ask you, because Zebra messes with her friend's men, her ex-friend's men. So, and you were seen in the video dancing in the background of her video. So why wouldn't I ask you that? He starts getting mad, and he's like, why would you ask me that? It's so disrespectful, blase, blase. Like, he's just going in. I'm like, no, just answer the question. Did you sleep with her? He starts getting mad. He's like, you see, this is why we didn't work out in high school. We didn't work out in high school because you were always accusing me of stuff. I said in Stanley, and I was always right. I was always right. What are you talking about? This is why we didn't work out in high school. I was always right. And did you not remember why we didn't work out in high school? We didn't work out in high school because your ass got caught on the staircase with another girl. Let's not forget. You know what I mean? He ends up getting mad that I asked him that, and the whole situation is weird. The whole link up is weird, and he ends up unfollowing me on Instagram. He unfollows me on Instagram. Mind you, he waits like a couple of days later, and I just peeped. Like, I don't know, something just told me he unfollowed you, and I go to his page and I'm unfollowed. Bitch, I'm gone. I can't even see myself. Where's Waldo? You feel me? So I'm like, all right, cool, charge it to the game. I didn't text him. I didn't do anything. I didn't ask him, why did you unfollow me? I didn't do nothing. Let's keep that in mind. This is the first time of Stanley. Mind you, this ain't the first time Stanley unfollowed me. Stanley used to unfollow me on Twitter all the time in high school. But this is the first time in college that Stanley has decided he's going to unfollow me on Snapchat and on Instagram. So I just charged it to the game. And I stopped messing with him. I stopped calling him. I stopped texting him to link up. I just started doing my own thing. And at this time, y'all, I started gaining a lot more friends. So I had a lot of friends, and I was dating other guys. Like, I was talking to new guys. So I wasn't really too much tripping on Stanley. I just was like, even though, I'm gonna be real with y'all, even though I went back to Stanley in college, the Irene that he dated in high school was completely different from the Irene that he talked to in college. I was not the same Irene. I wasn't the same Irene that was running after him and that like could only be with him. And no. That wasn't me. Like, the Irene in college was very much like, if I ever want to go over there, I might try to attempt to go over there. But other than that, I'm gonna figure out my dating situation with other guys. Like, I was always dating other guys. I was always getting to know other guys. I was always hanging out with my friends. Like, I barely hit him up, and he barely hit me up. And considering the fact that we were two different majors, I barely saw him. Let's fast forward to a couple of months later. So we had a Chick-fil-A at our school, and I go to the Chick-fil-A one day with one of my girlfriends, Laura. If you guys watch my story times, then y'all know who Laura is. I go to the Chick-fil-A with one of my girlfriends, Laura, and I come to find out that Stanley works at that Chick-fil-A. I'm just like, ugh, because y'all gotta understand, I don't see this boy on campus. I don't see him on campus. I don't see him at parties. I don't see him nowhere. So I'm thinking, like, you know, out of sight, out of mind. Like, it was cool for me. But now I gotta see you at Chick-fil-A when I just want to get my chicken filet? Like, why? So I ended up telling Laura, I'm like, there go that beat ass. Yeah, there he go over there. And Laura was like, oh my God, like, that's Stanley. And I was like, yep, there he go over there. And y'all gonna call me childish, but whatchamacallit, in our Chick-fil-A, there's a kiosk system that's like near the area where you get your napkins and stuff, and you gotta rate your experience. They have the green smiley face. They got the yellow smiley face that's not smiling that much, and then they got the red frowny face where it's completely frowning. And you gotta rate your experience, and then you gotta tell why you chose that color. Bitch, I went and chose the red one. And when they asked why, I said Stanley is working here. I swear, ask Laura. I said someone named Stanley is working here, and I don't like him. Because I can't eat in peace if this boy is behind the counter. Call me childish. Mind you, I'm over here typing my little review in the kiosk system. Laura is laughing, y'all. Like, Laura is laughing so hard. She's like, bro, you're childish. She's like, what's wrong with you? You're childish. I'm like, no, like, I don't like the fact that he's working here. Like, I can't even come. And y'all, I used to go to that Chick-fil-A a lot. I'm like, bro, now I gotta limit the times I come to the Chick-fil-A so I don't see him. Like, I do not want to see this boy. And he wasn't a cashier or nothing. He was a cook, but Stanley was tall. So he was always able to overpower, you know, the things, the beams, and see through everyone. And me and him will always make eye contact. Like, every time I would go to that Chick-fil-A, we will always make eye contact, and I would just look away quickly, right? One day, me and Laura went to the Chick-fil-A, and we went to the Chick-fil-A like when it was almost closed. Like, the Chick-fil-A was literally like almost closing, and we hurried up and we ran in to go get some food. And Stanley was there. Lo and behold, Stanley was there. And the girl ends up taking my order or whatnot. And I get my bag, and my bag is heavy, y'all. Like, when I say heavy, I'm talking about heavy. And I'm like, what's in this bag? Because I knew that I only ordered like chicken tenders and fries. I'm like, the bag is heavy. So I look in the bag, and Stanley ends up putting like a whole bunch of free shit inside the bag. And I'm just looking like, that's not gonna get me. But in my head, I'm like, shit. Bitch, that might get me. I ain't gonna lie, you know. I'm a big belly girl. That might get me. I'm like, that might get me. I ain't gonna lie. That might get me. But, you know, you still gotta play hard to get. You feel me? So I'm like, mind you, I'm in the bag. Like, I got the bag in my hand. Like, pretend this is the bag, right? I got the bag, and I'm looking inside, and I'm like, y'all, I was trying to play so hard to get, and it wasn't even on purpose. Like, it's not like I was trying to play hard to get to make him like me or like nothing like that. Like, I was just really not messing with the fact that he was hanging out with Zebra and taking videos with the op. Like, you know that me and this girl have had a big falling out with each other, and you've been talking to me for damn near 5 years at this point. I think about 4 years. Yeah, you've been talking to me for 4 years. Why are you taking videos with a girl that did me dirty? It was like another episode of Stanley always putting other people before me. Like, putting other people before me. Every time I link with you, after I get done linking with you, I barely have access to you because you barely answering the phone and stuff like that. You're just being mad weird. And you think that this food that you just put in the bag is about to make me like talk to you again. Like, no, like, no. So I grabbed the bag. Like, I looked in the bag, and y'all know Laura. Laura's like, oh, like, you know, Laura's like being messy, like, you know, kind of hyping up. Laura's like kind of like hyping up the situation or whatnot. And so I end up taking the bag, and I end up walking out. And as I'm walking out, all you hear is, "You welcome." And so I'm trying to ignore. Like, I'm trying to ignore him. I'm trying to walk faster. And he keeps saying, "You welcome. You welcome, Irene. You welcome." Like, he's screaming it, y'all. And so Laura is laughing so hard. Like, she's like, what? Like, what's going on? So I end up turning around, and I me-mugged the fuck out of him, and I walked off. Like, bitch, I never even said thank you, so I don't know why you're saying you welcome. Like, I'm actually mad confused. I end up walking off because it's like, no, like, I'm not about to play with you, and you're not going to play with me either. So let's fast forward to like a couple of weeks later, right? So I'm outside with Laura and a group of other friends, and it's these guys that Stanley was cool with. Like, they all went to high school. We all went to high school with each other. All talking amongst each other. Like, we're all clicked up. It's about, give or take, like 8 of us. And we're all talking. to each other, but not at the same time. Like, two people are talking to each other, the other, like, it's just different people. And we're in the parking lot near the wreck, right? And the parking lot near the wreck is where the MSC is. If you guys do not know what an MSC is, the MSC at PV, like, you know, like the MSC, like where the bookstore, the Chick-fil-A, y'all know, if y'all go to college, y'all know what I'm talking about. So it's late at night, so I'm guessing that Stanley ends up getting off and going to his car, and he ends up seeing all of us, and he sees some of his guy friends, so he ends up joining us. Now, I'm gonna be completely honest with y'all. I'm not gonna sit up here and sugarcoat anything. I'm not gonna sit up here and act like I'm just so, like, y'all know me. If y'all watch my videos, y'all know I do not stand on business. I sit on it. You feel me? That day, I was feeling some type of way. Rest in peace to rich homie Quan, baby. I was feeling some type of way that day. Like Fat Ma needed to be, yeah, like Fat Ma was feeling some type of way. So when I seen Stanley, all the hatred and everything that I had for him kind of went out the window, because I was just like, dang, like, yeah, Fat Ma feels some type of way, and Stanley is the perfect candidate. Like, I couldn't think of anybody else other than Stanley at that moment. So he ends up getting in his car, and he pulls up near us, and he's talking to some of the guys, and I'm just standing like, okay, so this is how it is. I'm standing here. Laura is standing right next to me. And then the two guys that he's talking to is standing next to each other. And his car is in front of us. So they're talking. I don't know what they're talking about, because all I could think of in my head is that Fat Ma needs some. That's all, y'all. And I know some of y'all might be looking at this like, girl, this girl is crazy. But that's dead ass all I could think in my head is like, Fat Ma needs some. I need some. I need some. But I didn't know how to ask. And quite frankly, I wasn't going to ask him for that. Like, I just felt like that would have been just so desperate. I just was not gonna ask him for that. I just wanted him to know, yeah, it's time. It's time. So, you know, y'all know how y'all do. I was giving him them eyes, girl. I was giving him them eyes. I don't want to say girl, because I know some guys be watching my channel. I was giving him them eyes, guys. Like, he was talking to his friends, and I was just looking at him like, yeah, you know what to do tonight. Like, you know who to call. Like, I'm ready. Hot and ready. Little Caesars. It was so bad. And mind y'all, I didn't even think that I wasn't even like trying to give him the eyes on purpose, or I feel like it just happened. And one of the guys that was outside of the car, he said, why are you looking at Stanley like that? And y'all, when I tell y'all, I was so embarrassed. Like, I wanted to tell him so badly, shut the hell up, shut the hell up. Because I'm like, bro, like, you're messing up the whole mojo. Like, you're embarrassing me. Like, and I had to lie, and I was like what? And he was like, you know, you looking at Stanley like you want something from him. And I'm just like, bro, shut up. In my head, I'm like, shut up. Like, because now everyone's looking at me. Laura's looking at me now. She's looking at me like this. The other guy is looking at me like, Stanley is laughing, because I guess Stanley peeped that I've been staring at him. Like, y'all, it was so embarrassing, y'all. It was so embarrassing. And I'm just denying it. I'm like, ain't nobody looking at him. And he's like, yes, you are. You were looking at him like you wanted something. You were looking at, and I'm like, anyways, no, I'm not. I'm like, come on, Laura, let's go. Y'all, I'm over here playing hard to get. I'm like, come on, Laura, let's go home. It's time for us to go home. So me and Laura and the other girls, we ended up dipping out. And Laura was like, asking me when I was in the car with her, she's like, how was you looking at him that old boy caught you? Like, how was you looking at him? And I'm over here lying. I'm like, girl, I wasn't even looking at him. I was just listening to their conversation. And she's like, oh, okay. So I end up dropping Laura off, and I end up going home. About an hour later, I get a text. He ends up texting me, and y'all gonna have to find out on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. Just kidding. I'm gonna give y'all this little one. I'm gonna give y'all this little bit, and then I'm gonna go. So Stanley ends up texting me, and he's like, so they said you was looking at me. How was you looking at me? And I'm just like, oh my God, bro. Like, this nigga. And so I'm like, I don't know what such and such is talking about. I was just looking at you regularly. Like, you know, yeah. And so he texted me, and he was like, Irene, you can stop the cap. He said, you know, I've been knowing you for years, right? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, I know he basically told me there's a certain look I give him when yeah, like I'm when I'm in that mode. He said there's a certain look that you give me when you're in that mode. He said you used to give me that look in high school, and that's how you were looking at me today. He said, so I don't know if you're in that mode or not, but if you are, I'm available. He said, because I don't know if you still mad at me or not. So I'm like, nah, like I'm chilling, I'm not mad at you. He was like, well, if you want to come over, you could come over. Y'all, guess what I did? Skip to the loo. Bitch, I came over. Like, I went over there. Pound Town, just left Pound Town. Bitch, I had just left Pound Town. Y'all, we gonna keep it PG. We gonna keep it PG here on the channel. But just know that, yeah, it was worth it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. It was worth it. I was on cloud. Like, I was on top of the world. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, it was worth it. It was worth it. So, end up getting into that, and I end up going back home or whatnot. And then I end up going to sleep, y'all. Go to class. When Laura sees this part of the story, she's gonna laugh so badly. So I get to class, y'all. Mind y'all, I get to class late. That's how good Pound Town was. Pound Town was so good to the point where I overslept and I slept over my alarm. I end up getting to class late as hell. So because I got to class late, I wasn't able to do my hair or nothing. So I literally, mind you, I remember I was wearing a red wig. So I literally just had it was like a red side part. I didn't even curl it or anything. I just side part the hair, brushed it down a little bit, threw on some clothes, and ran to school. So I get to class, mind you, me and Laura got class together. As soon as I sat in the chair, Laura looking at my hair like this. I'm not thinking nothing of it. In my head, I'm thinking, I just left Pound Town. Like, I'm on cloud, like I'm on a high cloud. Like, I don't care about nothing right now. Laura talking to me, she's having little conversations with me. I'm like, yeah, like, y'all know how y'all be when y'all just left Pound Town. Like, everything just feels so good. Life is just worth living again when you live Pound Town. So Laura's looking at, she's like, girl, why are you so happy? And I'm like, what you mean? And she's like, you a little bit too happy. And I'm like, huh? Like, I'm looking like, huh? And she's like, yeah. And she's like, and honey, where's your hair? Like, she's looking at me like, what's going on with your hair? Like, what's going on? And so Laura just put 2 and 2 together, and she was like, don't tell me you went to Stanley Place last night. And I'm just looking like, okay, I kinda did. And she's like, we're talking about it, and she's like, oh my God, bro, like, I knew you went over there. I knew you went to that boy's house, this and that. And I'm like, no, I'm trying to give her excuses. I'm like, no, let me tell you, he hit me. Like, she thought I hit him up. So I'm trying to tell her, like, no, he hit me up and da-da-da. And she's like, bro, but why'd you answer? Like, you supposed to be leaving him alone, blase, this and that, da-da-da, da-da-da, right? We talk about it. I end up telling her what happened, how I got there. And she's just like, yeah, like, I don't think you should be going over there. Like, I don't think he's good for you. Like, he's not a good person. And I'm like, yeah, I know. And so we're just talking about it. And so we end up leaving, right? And afterwards, me and Stanley are texting the next morning. I think he texted me good morning. I'm like, hey, like, we're back on talking terms, right? So I end up texting him. I think he texted me, and I ended up texting him back. Y'all, this boy ignored me. He ignored me. I was left on delivered. And that's where we're gonna stop the story time, because more BS happened, y'all. It took a while before I left this guy. Let's just say that. But more BS happened. He did more bullshit. You guys are going to want to hear the next parts of this stories. You are going to want to hear the next part of these stories. And yeah, so definitely, like I said in the beginning of my story time, be sure to give the video a thumbs up so you guys could get the next part of the series. Like I said, y'all, tell y'all fellow peers to give the video a thumbs up. So the video right below, I just uploaded a vlog yesterday. Y'all should definitely go check it out. It's a very good vlog. And y'all that say that y'all don't like vlogs, I promise you, if you watch my vlog, you'll like it. It's fun. I give just as much energy as I give in my story times, and sometimes I even tell story times in my vlog. So y'all definitely want to check it out. Tell them to stop what they're doing, double check and just give the video a thumbs up. You guys could get the second part quick, because I'll be wanting to give y'all these parts, but I also be wanting some support too, you know what I mean? I love you guys so much, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. And also, y'all, comment down below and y'all let me know, what else do y'all think that Stanley did? Like, out of everything that I've been telling y'all about Stanley throughout the years, what do y'all think that Stanley did that was like the ultimate, like, yeah, y'all let me know down below. I love you guys, and I'm gonna see y'all in the next one. Bye, y'all.